welcome to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, joined by Michael Campbell.
Charmed, I'm sure, Nelson.
Not at all.
Oh.
Just here again.
As a behind the scenes, should we say the motto I just said before I hit record?
Yeah.
If we don't want to be here, listeners don't want to listen, let's do this.
Let's do this. That's what we say at the
the
top
energy,
of every episode.
It's the energy we're bringing into
The
this.
first time we've told anybody, that's what we say. Our hands are in, by the way, and we throw them up in the air after we say
But not like enthusiastically.
No, like we're obligated to, as if by contract. Let's get into it. I reckon this first one was supposed to do us by just judging Reddit, but it was originally by Asking Questions blog. What suburb was this in?
I don't know.
Unethical
Life for Tips, maybe?
Maybe. Oh, God. It better not be an Ask Reddit. Nah, it wasn't. Don't worry about it. My birth certificate says I was born in 1670, not 1970, making me 354 years old instead of 54. Is there any fun, legal way I can exploit this to my benefit?
I'd say, I don't know which country you're from and how it works in your country. Get that senior citizens benefits right away.
Right off the top of the bat.
You're not a million miles away, to be honest. In this country, it kicks in at 60, I think. I think it's 60. It might be 65. I don't remember.
Is it 70 now?
Oh, okay.
No. Maybe
by the time
60.
we get there,
60.
they'll be like, you just don't get it.
Yeah. Senior what? No.
That never happened.
Yeah, get back to work. Senior stuff is good. I'm even trying to
discount movies, nice like food deals at cafes and such.
Can I tell you, I can't wait to be a senior. I want to live in one of those retirement villages where it's like just a bunch of lovely people chilling out, not working. They're like, hey, want to go do some bowls today? And you're like, hells yeah.
Have you noticed that our wives or wives-to-be, they've been talking a lot about living on a compound lately?
Yeah, commune.
Commune.
Here's the thing. I
would
would totally do that. I know we've sort of been joking about it.
I feel like the jokes are less
totally
like it used to be like, oh, we could do this. Now it's like, we could do this.
We could do this. Yeah. In fact, in New Zealand, I heard a story of, I'm not sure if it was 2 or 3 couples, might have been 3 couples that did exactly this. I think they might have even built the place, but they just had certain communal areas, might have been like the kitchen and a living room-ish, but then they obviously had their separate
like wings.
Sort of wings, like bedrooms, but a bit more than that, I think, around. And it's just, it's meant to be like the, millennial affordable way to
retire.
Own your own property.
I thought you meant like that's what they were doing when they were getting a bit older instead of like a retirement village.
No, this is
they're
like
doing it young.
This is young people.
Right, okay.
Yeah. It's funny because even the place we're looking at, we've been looking at like every now and again somebody will post in the chat like a link to some crazy lavish place, but realistically between three couples,
between 3,
it's actually cheaper than buying.
I think there was one in there for $2 million, which is a lot of money.
Yeah,
but when you split it between 3 couples,
it's much cheaper because realistically at the moment it's like roughly $1 million. But I mean, you can get them for less, but like roughly $1 million.
Yeah,
especially
for somewhere quite nice
for a pretty decent place. Yeah, you can definitely get it less, but and so. Yeah, I've been like, I could definitely do this right now at my age.
This doesn't help this person, I've just realised.
Yeah. I've just got an
maybe to a commune, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe buy a really expensive house. I don't know. I think that exploiting this comes from, here's the number one I'd use all the time.
Yeah.
Get those seats at the front of the bus or the train.
Yeah.
They're like, these are for elderly people only. You show them your birth certificate. You're like, I'm the oldest here.
Yeah.
Point to this. Sorry, grandma.
Bring the birth certificate. Okay, I've come up with 2 things, actually.
Yeah.
Bring the birth certificate. The first one is annoying. The other one is a benefit.
Yeah.
Bring the birth certificate to any museum, roughly around World War I and II. Yeah. And start telling them that they're wrong. Oh. And then when they're like, I think it's pretty research, you pull out your birth certificate and go, I was there, mate.
I was there. I like how you're doing it for the World Wars, the most controversial.
Yeah. I was just trying to think of significant things that like most people weren't alive for.
We haven't established that this person could be a Nazi.
Yeah, that's true.
They could be like, guys, this is wrong. Yeah. Actually,
I was there. Where were you specifically?
Which country? Where were you?
The other one would be get a job with some kind of like plastic surgeon cosmetic thing and be like, he's done work on me and I'm 354 years old.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Because even if you don't look great for 51, you look great for 351.
Yeah. I feel like that's a good point. You need to be in the media in some way. You need to find, there's like whiskey companies that are like, we've been around for hundreds of years. Yeah. You can be like, I was there when I started the company. Yeah. And
whenever you're in media, you know how people have sign-offs? Mm-hmm. Like I think Walter Cronkite was, and that's the way it was on this date and whatever. Yeah. Yours is, and remember, I'm 354 years old.
Good night, everybody. You're an interview show, late night show.
Yeah.
Late night show with a 354-year-old.
You interview the oldest guests you can find and then act really condescending that they're young. The young women say, you wouldn't get it.
The wisdom of the youth is so pathetic.
You think you know a thing or two about a thing or two, do you?
Yeah. Surely there's a bunch of world records that you could do. Like, because obviously you've already got oldest person. Yeah. You've already got oldest person. But then oldest person to run a 100-meter sprint.
Oh, yeah. Seriously. Yeah, because in your 50s, you still got some agility. So you can do stuff you could not do later in life.
Yeah. I think just, like, there should be a Guinness World Record book that's just titled The 354-Year-Old World Records. That's just you doing everyday stuff. But you get the record for it. So I think that's good. I think there's probably very few legal ways. Like how?
Oh yeah, sorry.
How quickly do you assume that the government's just gonna be like, no?
Yeah, a lot of what we suggested is illegal. You cannot lie about for like gain.
Yeah. Legal is
fraud. I think
tricky.
If you're like, hey, I was there, I know.
Yeah,
they can prove that you weren't. That's an issue.
You have to just do it to stuff. I mean, it's still not legal, but like you have to do it to companies that provide senior discounts for services, like maybe internet or mobile or something like that. I imagine there's services for seniors where I feel like you can sign up, prove that you're that old. Hopefully they just like, maybe this is a typo and but they're still legally, I don't know.
Imagine if the government's official position was like, we can't say it's a typo. You are that old.
Well, funnily enough, I ended up scrolling through a few of these comments and somebody mentioned that their wife, when files were being digitized, they typed their wife's name in incorrectly from her birth certificate or something. And so basically it was like she no longer existed.
Oh.
And the government she had to like get a lawyer, especially the government, and the government were kind of in a bit of shit, basically, because there's a whole lot of legal reasons to be like, you need to prove your kind of birth. And so if you just come from nothing, that there's actually huge holes in the system for somebody who doesn't exist. And she had to sign something, get a lawyer, fill out a bunch of paperwork to say that she would still accept the debt that she was in, because she could have just walked away from it, being like, right, that's not me, that's not that person.
And by doing that, surely that means because there would need to be a benefit to her as well. Like, were they like, and then you get your personhood back?
Yeah. It would have been. I'm sure. The thing is, I think it's like if you were in crushing debt through probably just credit cards, right? Because obviously you would have assets. So if you said, let's say you owned, you had a mortgage. If you said no, I'm walking away from that, then they would say, well, the house then doesn't belong to you either. So I think it would have to be if you were in crippling debt, but it was like credit card debt where there wasn't really, there's no assets of yours kind of thing to be claimed back, then I think it might be beneficial to be like, no, I'm not signing that waiver.
In fact, I'm dead.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, obviously, she ended up getting everything back. But so there could be some like tricky loopholes where it's not as easy just being like, oh, we'll just reissue your birth certificate and this is it. It might be like, oh, you have to sign that actually you aren't 354 years old. But if you do, you do get cheap coffee at McDonald's.
Yeah.
So
and we will allow you to go into the museums and tell them that they're wrong.
Yeah.
That seems pretty low impact, we'll be honest.
Anywho, very interesting. All right, let's move on into Ask Reddit. Ask Reddit. This Ask Reddit was cross-posted to us by Gone Fish Caking, but it was originally by Bill Oakley. Which movie title becomes the most ridiculous when you add "and the Chocolate Factory" to the end of it?
I mean, this works well with any movie that has a name. So John Wick and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah.
I'd watch that.
That's good.
He's trying to free the Oompa Loompas, maybe.
Oh, nah, he'd be trying to shoot him. There's something cool about Keanu Reeves trying to shoot a lot of Oompa Loompas. They seem like endless. They come out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's true. They're great henchmen, aren't they?
Yeah, they're good henchmen. They're good henchmen. He's trying to kill Willy Wonka. That'd be great. I mean, that's also, I guess, like Fight Club and the Chocolate Factory. How about just Charlize Theron and the Chocolate Factory?
Just an actress.
What's she doing in there?
Yeah. Probably running it quite well. She seems
a documentary.
Yeah. I think. It's like Welcome to Wrexham.
Yeah.
But instead of Ryan Reynolds owning a football company, it's Charlize Theron running a chocolate factory.
Yeah.
And I'd watch it.
I'd watch it. It would be interesting.
What about, like, there was that movie from a few years ago with Brendan Fraser, The Whale, about the Beast Man. Are they doing crossovers that they think thematically could work? Is it The Whale and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah,
like, get him out of there.
Yeah, just
he's had too much.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be funny. Like a bit of a sad story about a super obese person that started a chocolate factory but just ate too much of their own product. I think there's something there.
It could be a spin-off because the other and the movie titles that everyone is familiar with is Harry Potter. Harry Potter and the
Chamber of Secrets.
Harry Potter and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh.
Because they're probably making those little frogs. You know the little frogs that run away?
Yeah. There's the most impractical lollies and all. The Bertie Bott's every flavoured bean or whatever.
Yep.
That's a terrible idea.
Yep. Just do good flavours.
Just do good flavours. Why would you want every flavour?
Mate, Jelly Beans worked that out so long ago.
Yeah. Somebody at the Jelly Bean factory was like, hey, we could make this jelly bean taste like literal shit.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, why?
What about like strawberry?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, I see. Yeah, we might sell more like that. Yeah. Anyway, that's just the most.
Yeah. I would say the Harry Potter universe and the Chocolate Factory universe, I could see that overlap because they've got crazy confectionery in that universe. And what is Wonka doing? Crazy confectionery.
Yeah.
Eat this, you float. That sounds like a Harry Potter
That's
thing.
magic.
Yeah.
That's magic.
That is magic.
So that's pretty good.
And also, like, I feel like Harry Potter exploit the little. What are those little? What's Dobby? It's like a little goblin thing.
Elf.
He's an elf.
Elf. House elf. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Them being exploited the way they are, and Oompa Loompas being exploited the way they are.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of crossover.
I can see a Rise Up film here somewhere. Is there? What's we need like the Great Escape and the Chocolate Factory or something like that.
What about something really dystopian?
Ocean's 12 in this the Chocolate Factory. That's good.
What about something really dystopian like George Orwell's 1984 and the Chocolate
and
Factory?
The Chocolate Factory.
Like, what's going on in that chocolate factory?
Yeah.
Nothing. Everything is efficient as it should be.
Yeah. A lot of cameras around.
Yeah.
Just way more black. A lot more grey. A lot more grey in that Chocolate Factory. Yeah, that's good. I like that one, actually.
What of the recent Oscar films?
Okay.
Would you put
Nora and the Chocolate Factory?
That sounds fun.
That's a sexy Chocolate Factory right there.
It's more fun than The Brutalist and the Chocolate Factory because it's a very boring looking chocolate factory, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, architecturally quite interesting.
Yeah.
But when you think of chocolate factory, you think of big, fun energy, and he'd be like, no.
Do you know what I've thought? One that works perfectly together, I would say. Wallace and Gromit and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
that's
you
good.
love a claymation
I
of
would
them
love
two
that.
in a chocolate factory? That'd be good.
That. More than the wild robot of the Chocolate Factory. What's that robot doing?
Come on.
Probably automating the system.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, that might work quite well.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
It's just efficient.
Get wild out of there. Don't want wild robot, just the robot of the Chocolate Factory.
The robot of the Chocolate Factory. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. What else was no? What won? Oh no, it was Honora. What should have won?
Dune Part 2 in the Chocolate Factory. That doesn't work.
That's not a good one. Wicked in the Chocolate Factory, I don't think really works too. Yeah. Although he could also conceivably be in the same sort of universe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's got magic in the same way that Harry Potter has magic.
It's a lot of
singing.
wild color.
They are singing a lot.
Okay, it's in the same.
And that Chocolate Factory was kind of somehow run on songs. Don't quite know how that worked, but it seemed like they were really efficient when they were singing songs.
Yeah.
I think it's some kind of melody-powered factory they're running there, Nelson.
Yeah. Anywho, a lot of movies could work.
Yeah.
I particularly like this idea of Ocean's 11 and
the Chocolate Factory. They're stealing the secret recipe.
Yeah. Well, the golden tickets.
They're working for Slugworth. And how Slugworth wants the secret recipe for the gobstopper. Yeah. That's the test. It's a Slugworth test.
Oh, yeah.
But he hires Danny Ocean and his crew.
Yeah. This is good. I think we could sell this idea to Hollywood.
Because then at the end, when Wonka's like, that was a test and you fail, sir, you get nothing. He's like, still got it.
Yeah.
We actually stole this days ago.
No, yeah. I was going to say, Willy Wonka's like, ha, I told you you'd never get it. And Danny Ocean smirks and he's like, you idiot. We stole it before we even got into the chocolate factory. Dressed as Oompa Loompas. Okay. Sold. That's good. All right, let's get into today's advice.
So now it's time for Today I Learned.
Today I learned.
And also sometimes advice.
This advice was cross-posted to... No, it wasn't. Sorry. This was just originally by the Hussein Hassar. Sure. And they are a man. And that's because this was in the subreddit Ask Men, I think.
Oh, okay.
I opened up towards my girlfriend and I think it destroyed my relationship with her. I've been lurking in this sub for a while, and I often read how other men's relationship got destroyed when they opened up to their girlfriend. I have the feeling that this is the case for me as well, and I really don't know how to deal with it. Before my girlfriend was the type... before my girlfriend, sorry. I was... it changes that sentence dramatically. I was the type of guy who could sleep with multiple different women in a week and not feel a thing. Obviously, I promised them the world on the outside, but deep down, I didn't feel a thing for them.
Oh, okay.
This guy's a bit of a dick, I've just realized.
Yeah.
I had the emotional capacity of a rock, but with her, it changed.
Okay.
She is the very first person I care more about than myself, and the first person I thought I could actually show true emotions towards. A little while ago, the dog of my father's side, who I grew up with, died, and I was alone with my girlfriend, and I just broke. It was the first time in years or even a decade that I cried. I just couldn't hold it anymore. Somehow this also opened up other things inside of me that I didn't deal with emotionally ever. Like, for example, that I basically grew up without a mum, and the fact that I was very insecure about my body for a long time because of my weight, which made me go into the other direction later on, where I do sports nearly every other day to never be overweight again. This whole venting felt really good, but all my girlfriend answered afterwards was, "Are you done? Then you better go to sleep," which I found pretty odd, but didn't think too much about it. Now, ever since her attitude towards me has changed. Before, she regularly just vented about her work and day to me and asked me for advice. She would tell me stories from when she was younger. She would randomly do cute little things for me. She doesn't do that anymore. Like, none of it. At first, I really didn't know what I did, and maybe if I am just overthinking it. But since I saw this subreddit and read the experiences of other men, it somehow clicked for me. I think I lost her respect ever since I opened up. What do I do in this situation? Is there a chance to make things right again? Because like I said, she's the only person I ever opened up towards, and I don't think I can get that same trust with anyone else again.
This is really bordering on being exploited by what some would call toxic masculinity, which is that men shouldn't open up.
Oh, can, but don't open up.
And I hate that.
What are you,
so
a
much.
girl?
Yeah, exactly. But like, we joke about it because I think we're both emotionally intelligent people.
Yeah.
At least for our gender. And my fear is that this person, who I'm going to say is probably young.
Yeah.
I'm basing it on, I guess, the grammar mainly.
Guys, it was a nightmare.
Yeah. If you thought Nelson was stumbling, it wasn't that he was having trouble reading his. He was actually correcting a lot of the grammar on the fly.
I did an insanely great job of
it.
it.
You really did. Because I almost stopped you to say, oh, he actually says I uppened to my girlfriend instead of opened. And then I was like, I'll let it go. Why am I doing that? Anyway, this is young men get to a tipping point where their influence is so important to be able to be told whether or not they should be vulnerable and emotional.
Yeah.
And guess what? You're a fucking human being. You should be vulnerable and emotional. Doesn't matter the gender or anything like that. And I did have the realization not long ago, about a month or so ago, when our cat died. When we were at the vet, we also saw another family exiting. Clearly, have just put their pet down.
Yeah.
And everyone was crying, except for, and I'm not trying to call this person out, but the dad was just very stoic.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the classic dad move.
Yeah.
And he'll probably just pent it up and unleash it somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then when our cat was put down, I was so sad. I was crying like a fucking baby.
Yeah.
And I was saying to Stacey later on, I'm like, I'm glad that I feel comfortable to do that. By the way.
Yeah.
Because there is very much a societal thing to be like, hold it in, mate.
Yeah.
You know? And
it's so...
That's what I fear here is this person's like, I open up once, never again.
Definitely. This dude, you can just tell in the language that he's using, has had influence by probably a parent about, you're a guy, so you
grew up without a mum.
Yeah, exactly. Don't show much emotion.
And if his mum left and his dad did then suppress emotion, which it wouldn't be unheard of to happen. Yeah, this guy maybe has learned like, oh, we just shut stuff down.
But actually, I think this line is really interesting too, which to me says that there's like a gap that's kind of bridged here, which is somebody said to him, you shut down your emotions for everybody until one day you find the right person, and then you can open up to them. Because he said, she's the very first person I care more about than myself, and the first person I thought I could actually show true emotions towards. Yeah. That to me is him being like, saying exactly that. Just to be like, oh, finally I can be myself now.
And then just like, because like over the course of a natural relationship, you do open up, but it's like a slow, like opening in which more and more stuff comes out and whatever. And this sounds like a floodgate just opened.
Yeah.
Which can be very overwhelming for the other side. So
the thing that screwed him up is he just hasn't been open with his partner from the get-go. Yeah. Actually, probably like it stemmed even before that, because like he said, he's just bolted up the ship for ages. So he probably hasn't. I guarantee this dude's never spoken to a friend about some of the shit that he's been through with growing up without a mum, or like he said.
And normally, like, there would probably be a process of, one day he says like, oh, this is really hard because I grew up without a mother and I didn't have that much female influence in my life for the first whatever years. Maybe later down the track, you might have said, oh, I've been very self-conscious about my body in the past. And you start to learn these things. Yeah. And it sounds like in the course of 40 minutes, it's like, dog died, I'm devastated about that. My mum I didn't really know my mum, and I'm insecure about my body. And like, yeah, I'm sure this poor young girl is probably like, how do I handle all of this at once?
Yeah. I also want to throw in another perspective here too.
Yeah.
That he is totally 100% overreacting about how she's reacting back to him.
Yeah.
Where he thinks, oh shit, I opened up to her. Oh, has she changed? I think she's changed.
Yeah.
Oh, she used to do these little cute things anymore. Oh, when was the last time she did something cute? Oh, it was before I spoke to her about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's it either, but because, maybe she was, I don't know, be put off or something. But I think it's if anything, right, this feels like it could send the wrong message. I hate to think that there's other men on this subreddit that are like, oh, this proves you shouldn't open up. The opposite is true. It proves that you should be way more open in your entire life from the get-go.
Yeah.
And then you would have more real relationships. This guy is admitting that he's holding stuff in and not being his true self. He's not showing his true emotions. I was like, that's so sad. That's so depressing.
It is really sad, yeah. And there's also, your partner shares burdens with you, right?
Yeah.
But your girlfriend is not your therapist either. And it is very possible that you need to talk to someone about this stuff. Yeah. And it is not fair. I don't know how long this relationship has been going.
Yeah.
To dump everything all on one person.
Yes. That's a very good point. Yeah. Because there is that fine line. I've said this before in a different element, which is, oh man, this is going to go way off on a tangent. But I had a friend who with like severe depression when I was younger as a kid, and it kind of ended up our friendship with her and a few other people who were all kind of friends with her ended up being about her depression. And I think that that's not fair on her. And obviously, like, we were kids, we didn't really know how to like deal with it. She didn't know how to deal with it, and I think sometimes that's the danger from like you said, that there's kind of this line, right, between stuff you need to like talk to a therapist about and stuff where you can get support from your loved ones that are close by, but always kind of with if you're open from the start, I think it's easier to kind of navigate where that is, and it does seem like maybe he dumped on way too much in one go.
Yeah.
For a supporting girlfriend.
My fear is I also like, to the person that wrote this, I don't want you to think that we're criticizing you for opening up either. It's good that you did open up, because it should be super, super normal for men to just be emotional.
Yeah.
It's completely fine. But
just be yourself.
Just be yourself. Don't overthink it. And also, talk to someone.
I feel like
outside of your relationship.
If you're ever thinking, I shouldn't feel this way because I'm a man, that's like the key, right?
Yeah.
If you're ever checking your emotions, because it's not even if you're a man, because you're like in any situation, I feel like maybe.
If you are feeling an emotion come on and you think yourself, I shouldn't feel this emotion because it's embarrassing.
Yeah, anything like that.
Like that. Nobody actually cares.
Yeah, exactly.
And the people that do care, like, you don't need them.
Well, that's the truth as well. Because if your girlfriend is acting this way towards you because she's like, I can't believe you opened up like that. You don't want to be with that person. Like, sorry, that sucks. Yeah. And I know that's often Reddit's advice when they're like, hey, just bring him with her. But like, legitimately, you'll probably end up having a worse relationship in the long run with that person if they don't want you to open up ever or be your true self ever.
And like, there's always like some of the influences that young men have can be scary. But like, if you think that Andrew Tate is cool because he's a man's man and whatever, I guarantee you a girl's rejected him and he's cried. I guarantee you that 1,000%.
Yeah.
And that's why he is the way he is.
Yeah. Probably too many times. It really broke him.
I'm sure on the rare occasion he gets to have sex, he cries.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on into shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts.
This shower thought is by Stealth Terrorist. Oh, I'm not sure if I can share this anymore. Phone cameras may have done more to deter crime than any law or technological advancement.
I mean, the username checks out.
Yeah.
He's been trying to do stealth terrorism and everyone keeps filming him.
Everybody's got their
goddamn phone cameras everywhere.
I mean, I'm a little bit... It said phone cameras may have done more to deter crime than any law or technological advancement. Phones were a technological advancement.
Yes.
But any law, let's say, I think that's interesting. In fact, it's about what we were talking. It's almost like what we were talking about last week with Reddit's ban on the upvoting, where like you've got, you've empowered all citizens to detect and report on crime live as it goes, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, look at the George Floyd situation. When that happened, there was a lot of footage of it.
Yeah,
because people were there with their phones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's actually really good.
Back in the day, that probably would have gone unnoticed.
Yeah.
Someone might have seen it and you tell someone, but like it's not getting the spread.
Yeah.
Because that not only was being filmed, but like putting live on the internet.
Yeah. I would say what's a bit sad about this is
So I meant the cops were the criminals in that case, by the way. the choking of him, not the crime he was being arrested for.
Yeah. We got it, Cambo.
I just don't want that one person.
I think what's sad, though, is with phone cameras, it's really deterred and scared off ghosts. So we hardly ever see them anymore.
Yeah.
Or hear about them.
That's
you
true.
know? It's really...
And when it was bigger that like cameras had like a big kind of flash, they were more common as a spectral globe.
Yeah.
But since that is less common and now it's a far smaller flash, ghosts just don't seem to appear as much.
Don't. And that's a real shame.
That is a real shame. They must like the bigger flash, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, it is funny to think we talk about... I feel like more often than not, we tend to talk about how technology, the advancement of technology, kind of screws things up.
Well, some things, I guess.
Some things.
Like, technology, by the way, is amazing. Like, the fact that international calls, not a problem anymore.
Yeah.
These are ones that people don't think about. It's like, oh, we know someone from, I don't know, England. I'll just call them for free right now.
Yeah.
That used to be a whole ordeal.
Yeah. No, that's right. That's the thing. But like, I think even about, right, so let's use that as an example, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know the technology, which is why it's going to be a problem. But you think about, that's possible now because we've created infrastructure, significant infrastructure, that is probably, definitely destroyed a lot of wildlife.
Yes, yeah, right, yeah.
Polluted a lot of the world.
Yeah.
In some way or another. And I think, sometimes it's easy to kind of look at stuff and be like, oh, there's danger in technology and the way that it progresses, like social media. It's just a bit of fun. Now it's like, oh, actually, this is like weaponized. Like social media is totally weaponized.
It did
now.
what to democracy?
Yeah. And obviously people have the same concerns about AI in the future as well and stuff like that. But it's nice to sometimes know stuff like this, where it's like almost an inadvertent thing. When they invented phone cameras, they went like, because think about how much crime could be deterred.
Yeah.
But it's a nice sort of accidental improvement.
Yeah, it's like it was not what it was designed for, but it's had a nice benefit of that. Yeah. I would say that this is also the same if, like me, you're interested in filmmaking. A lot of this wasn't designed for it, but it's made filmmaking a lot cheaper. So you don't have to be super, super rich to afford all the best equipment or whatever. Yeah. It's way more like accessible now.
Yeah.
When I was young, if I wanted to make a film, I couldn't.
Yeah.
That was the answer. I couldn't. Yeah. I can't afford a camera. I can't afford this lighting, whatever. But now, yeah. Again, it's something that they did not design it to do that, but it is a benefit of.
Yeah, that's true. Here's another one. This is by System of House Dash. Most Cheetos that could get sold online because they look like something in particular probably get eaten without a second thought.
Yeah, this is just how life should be.
Here's the thing. I want to connect both of these shower thoughts.
Okay.
Is the introduction of phones when you're like, here's the thing. People would take a Cheeto that looks like Mary would be on social media right now and not that interesting because there would be a million different variations of them, million different Mary Cheetos that look like Mother Mary. We kind of lose this interest of like back in the day, it's like if you had a Cheeto that looked like Mary, you would have to get a film crew over and like preserve the Cheeto and, it'd have to like make news. Somebody had to be like interested enough to put it on there. It was like a big effort. Now it's nothing that people just don't give a shit about anymore. It's like the introduction of cameras has made all that kind of bullcrap be less.
Honestly, if someone posted on social media and said, look, this Cheeto looks a bit like something.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'd stop the scroll anymore.
Yeah.
Because the insane shit people do online for attention now is so far beyond look at this thing that looks a bit like whatever.
Yeah.
I saw a video the other day of this woman in her like glove compartment between the two seats in her car.
Yeah.
She just made a giant tiramisu.
Okay.
And they were eating it from the glove box as like a joke. To be like, oh, isn't this the most impractical thing I could have done? I was like, probably ruined a lot of the interior of your car for something that I went, huh. Yeah. And then I kept going.
Totally.
A Cheeto is not stopping anything.
Yeah, exactly.
the attention economy that we're running at the moment, you need a lot more than that.
And even like, there's also the fact that when something like that goes on social media, you can get instant commentary from people. Again, like I said, back in the day when there was like toast that looked like whatever, then that just gets printed in a newspaper or whatever.
Yeah.
Becomes a story. But if you had people commenting on that afterwards, being like, this is terrible, you've clearly just like either etched like something into the Cheeto.
Share this with you,
to make it look.
This video of the car.
What a fucking stupid video that is.
But like you see it and you're like, oh yeah, like that's gonna outweigh any chip.
Yeah.
And it's nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah, totally nothing.
Absolutely. And plus, if you did that now, everyone's like, that's AI.
Well, that's the thing too. Yeah, is like people will say that it's fake and whatever. And anyway, all right. Let's move on into podnapping.
Oh my God! I'm being podnapped!
Podnapping.
This is podnapping, where we nap pod. We take a topic of conversation or a segment from another thing, and we do it ourselves. This week is my week, and I got another suggestion that Waves of Misery gave us on our Discord, and I thought it was a really good idea. What I didn't realize is that it would be much harder to execute than I thought it would be.
Okay.
So I reckon I spent 4 hours on the show notes this week. And one, it was just hard to get some posts, but also this podnapping took me an hour probably itself, and I've only got three things. The idea is that I'm going to give you some comments from a post.
Yep.
You have to tell me what the post is about.
Okay. Yep.
Honestly,
I can see why this would seem easy, but actually be way harder than you think.
Yeah, because what happened was people would just say exactly what happened in the post.
Yeah. Can't believe that elephant jumped in that pool.
Yeah.
Nah, damn it.
Or they're way too vague where you can't do anything. I think I found one really good one. Okay. And the other two are fine. Anyway, so here we go. This first comment by Be Nice to Robots. Oh, I should tell you, these were all in relationship advice, I think.
Okay.
To perhaps give you a little bit of extra chance. He does this on purpose. He loves making a scene. He loves embarrassing people. He loves how it makes you feel. I would probably go ask him why he does what he does, but I honestly wouldn't expect an actual answer. This behavior is probably the tip of the iceberg. Can you be happy with such a guy? Now,
Okay. Yeah.
I'd like you to. I think the best way to do this is you give me some preliminary thoughts.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of comments here.
Yeah. Someone writing in about their boyfriend, partner doing something. I'm thinking at the moment it's like, oh, he always complains to wait staff in a restaurant or something like that.
Okay. Yep.
Something that this person doesn't agree with, but this person keeps doing it.
Yeah. Next comments. Famous pen 2453. Stop going to dinner with him.
Oh, okay. I'll be honest, that solidifies somewhat my initial thought.
You're definitely on the right track. Then Wildly Natural said, I'm so tired of reading posts about grown-ass men who can't function in society without a woman to do it all for them. Homeboy can't read a menu?
Okay. So this person doesn't know how to read?
You know what? Could be close. Could be close to the... So you're like... Your whole thoughts are like right in the ballpark.
Oh,
of what it
wait.
is.
Does this person
slightly
get
more
the
niche. It's tricky.
Does this person get the waiter to read the menu to them?
No.
Oh no, she reads the menu to him.
Yeah, that is part of the post, definitely.
Does she order for him?
No. I'm going to tell you because it's probably a little bit too tricky to get the
I
specifics.
got closer than I was expecting, I'll be honest.
You got pretty close. And yes, at one point she does read the menu to him. So there is that. But what happens is OP's boyfriend constantly thinks that he's getting the wrong thing after ordering it. He reckons 8 out of 10 times.
Okay.
But he makes assumptions about what is and is not included on the menu and then makes a big deal about it when he does get it. So it does cause a scene in some degree. But she said to the point where one of the things was he ordered a macchiato and got a macchiato.
Yeah.
And then said, I can't get a decent coffee at this place. He wanted it in a big cup. He wanted a long black.
Right.
With a bit of milk.
Yeah.
And she was like, but that's
a macchiato.
That's a macchiato. And she said he does this about a million other different things as well. Right. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Always dissatisfied with his food in some way.
Always dissatisfied. Okay. I'm going to do this one. Kashinami said, imagine what would have happened if you blew up at her. This just goes to show that it's better to talk things out with someone instead of jumping to conclusions. Pretty vague.
Okay.
But we're starting to round out
what would have happened if you had have blew up at her. Mm-hmm. This is why. Okay. So this person suspected something of their partner, but turned out not to be true.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I should say this is actually an update post as opposed to the original. Yeah. Quackslike said, rattled over nothing. Smiley face.
Yeah. Okay. So they're building something up in their head, an affair or something like this, where they think, "Oh, my partner's being disingenuous." Turned out to have a completely rational explanation.
Yeah.
Rattled over nothing. Infidelity is my go-to.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think it could be smaller than that.
This last one's by Red81. This gives you a lot of context. But I still want you to put more of the piece of puzzle together than you might think.
Okay.
Congrats on your future engagement, your new pet, and a happy resolution.
Okay. So this person was going to propose. They maybe thought, oh, hang on, I reckon something is up. And they were going to not propose.
Yeah.
Future pet. How does
that's what makes it tricky. How did that get in there?
How did that get in there? So my thought was infidelity, but now I'm thinking that's
so
it's to do.
But
with...
he's made the mistake of infidelity, right?
Yes. So okay, this person thought their partner was cheating on them, but their partner was actually somehow going to surprise them with a pet, dog, cat. Chicken. Hamster.
Cambo, I have given you a clue as to what the pet is.
Have you? Okay. Okay, so I'll come back to this.
Okay.
Thought partner was cheating. Actually, partner getting them a pet as a surprise.
Yeah.
Is the partner the OP female?
Male.
Male. Okay, because I thought that maybe the pet would be part of the proposal. Was
Right.
my
Okay.
thought.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was going to propose to the partner. Thought they were cheating. They were actually secretly organizing a pet.
Yeah.
How does the engagement come into this then? They propose.
This part's tricky. This part's tricky to be like, okay, this is how I'll try to guide you there.
Yeah.
If the girlfriend is trying to get this pet as a surprise, how might she hide that from him? Like where she's going or something? What might she say or do?
Like working late or...
Yeah, like something like that.
Yep. Okay.
Maybe it's too tricky. It's so easy because I got the answer.
Yeah. I can feel that I'm like...
You've basically got it.
I'm rounding the edges of it, but
Yeah.
I can't mold it to its final form.
Okay. No, it's too tricky. I would have given you 1,000,000 points, Canberra, if you had have nailed it on
So
the
how many
head.
points do I
but
get?
I will get... Oh, none. But I'm going to give you another go at the pet.
Okay, you have given me a hint of the pet when you said...
How about I read you all the comments again?
Yeah.
Kashinami said, imagine what would have happened if you blew up at her. This just goes to show that it's better to talk things out with someone instead of jumping to conclusions. Quackslike said, rattled over nothing. Red81 said, congrats on your future engagement, your new pet, and a happy resolution.
Okay, there's two words that stick out to me. Quack and rattle. Rattlesnake?
Quack was the person's name.
Rattlesnake?
Snake Cambo, you've got it. The pet was... That rattled over nothing comment was followed by 1,000,000 different puns about snakes. Anywho, okay, so this is the entirety of the post. It was an update because what happened was this OP was going to propose to his girlfriend. But before he did, he wanted to get a ring. And he got his girlfriend's friend to help him pick it out. Then he asked his girlfriend where she was that day or something, and she said that she was with that friend that he was with.
Okay, yeah.
So then he knew she was lying, and so he's gone, oh my God, he's cheating on me. Is that, the comment? And then a lot of people are saying it's so nice to have a post where somebody took the advice to just have a normal conversation, like this person said, like he didn't blow up at her because you just said, hey, I know you were lying about this. And he even said, I just admitted to her, we've spoken about marriage. I was getting an engagement ring. I was with your friend. Where the fuck are you? Basically, in a very nice, polite way. And then she smiled and laughed and ends up saying, I was getting you a pet snake, because he didn't think that she would ever go for that, but he's really loved snakes, and she was doing something extremely kind. And yeah,
I would love it if he's got it in his head that his partner's cheating.
Yeah,
and he kind of like walk past the bedroom and kind of like puts his ear to the door, and she's talking about like the snake handler that.
Yeah,
it's like he got it out. It's huge. It touched the floor.
Yeah.
Drink all the way to the floor.
I have never seen one that big in real life before. Yeah, that's true. Okay, last one, Cambo. First comment here is by Sweet Peasy. Don't let her or any woman waste her life away with you.
Okay, so this person's done something wrong.
This is a little clue to this one. OP agrees emphatically with this. I've read the comment and said, yeah, totally agree with you.
Don't let her or any woman waste their life with you. Was that?
Yeah, waste her life away with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next
comment. This is great because they've given a 5-step process. And I'm going to just slowly read them out to you. You get more points, Cambo, for the quicker you get it. This first one's great. Okay, it's actually by a throwaway account. Step 1, find a single Indian lesbian.
Yeah.
Go on, Kevin. Have at it. What do you reckon?
Single. It could be so many things. A single lesbian.
Like, what process starts with?
Can I ask Native American or Indian from the country India?
Indian from the country India.
Okay, this does not help. Mm-hmm. Whereas the other one, I would have figured it out.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Don't let any woman waste their life away with you. You need one lesbian Indian woman.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll give you step 2.
Yeah.
Introduce her to your parents as your partner.
Okay. So this could be potentially like a family issue in the person saying don't let any woman waste their time with you because your family are going to be a nightmare maybe. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Could be.
Yeah.
Then why do they need a...
Because they're also
Indian
racist.
lesbian.
They're also racist and homophobic.
Okay, step 3.
Yep.
Marriage.
Yep.
Step 4. Each of you are now free to do your own thing, free of parent expectations. Step 5 is profit.
Okay.
Question mark.
Yeah, so this person is being forced into marriage. They're perhaps gay. Their parents want them to marry a woman. Mm-hmm. And they're like, no, thank you. Indian family.
Yep.
So they're saying what you need to do is marry a lesbian from India.
Yeah.
You both go have a whale of a time.
Yeah.
Without each other.
Yeah.
But you're married so the parents can't say shit.
Yeah. Totally nailed it, Cambo.
Yes.
Yep. Indian arranged marriage. OP is gay.
Yeah.
He's like, what do I do? A lot of pressure from my parents. I'm feeling bad about marrying this woman. They're like, don't ruin the woman's life because blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Anyway, good. I just thought it was funny to start with. Step 1, find an Indian lesbian. All right. Well, you did pretty well in there, Cambo, but as I mentioned, 0 points. So sorry about that.
One day I'll get this thing that you run with either a million points or 0 points.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult. So far, you've never earned a
I've
million
never
points.
had it.
All right. That's it for another episode.
It's funny because we both know the decision you just made, but the listeners don't.
Yeah, no. But if you would like to write into us, you can do so. Reddit podcast, READIT podcast.
And why would people write into us, Nelson?
Because eventually we'll read it.
Eventually, we're storing them up.
Yeah.
Like nuts for the winter.
That's right. Winter soon for Australia.
Yep.
We're going to be
all letters, no segments.
Oh, AMA episode.
Yeah.
Oh, wild. You can write into us, readitpodcast@gmail.com, READIT podcast. You can also reach us at our subreddit and the Discord. The link is in the show notes.
Yep.
And that's it. So thanks for listening, and we will read you later.